Alrighty, so we got a good one here. Danny, the Colombian Warrior Chavez versus Jared the Flash Gordon. Very intriguing matchup. I didn't actually know anything about Chavez until doing tape. I was just looking to fade Jared Gordon, kinda. So when I did watch Danny Chavez's first fight in the UFC, I was pretty impressed. Like, it was a very good performance. I get I think the guy that he beat is maybe cut, but it was a very good performance, and he showed a well-rounded game. But there's not too much tape on him in the from his like regional fights. So, but I was really impressed with his UFC performance. He showed a really well-rounded game. For Jared Gordon, he has been KO'd three out of his last five fights. So that's never great. All of his UFC wins, in my opinion, are probably against guys that probably shouldn't be in the UFC. So we got Fish Gold. You know, he's dangerous, but he's not it's not the greatest fighter all round. Dan Moret, you know, pretty average fighter. Hakron Diaz, pretty average, and then Quinones, who's I don't think he's won in the UFC. So yeah, this is kind of what I'm talking about. Like, he's had pretty favourable matchups, in my opinion. Whereas when he's gone up a little bit, or maybe even just a kind of matchup where he is, I think he's like, I don't know, he's ranked in like the 50s, I think. Yeah, 50s. So yeah, if he gets a fighter ranked in the 50s, 40s, such as Joachim Silva, or Joachim Silva, however you say it, he got finished. He was doing very well that fight though, but yeah, ended up getting finished. For Diego Ferreira, yeah, too many levels above. Also with Charles Oliveira, too many levels above. But yeah, just that's my quarrel with his record. And to break down the striking of these two, Chavez, he's got very nice low leg kicks. He looks to kind of destroy, you know, his opponent's foundation, and then he'll start opening up with his high kicks, with his hands, but generally at the start of fights he looks to land a lot of low leg kicks in the first round. Also, then he will open up with his boxing combinations. Mostly he just uses boxing combinations to counter the opponents when they're coming in to strike. Generally won't just go out, walk opponents down and start throwing 3-2s, 2-3s and all that kind of stuff. He tends to use them as like counter shots. But yeah, in the pocket, so he can let opponents get into the pocket because he will back up right onto the fence. So when his opponents do close distance, they're pretty much in the pocket. He looks for the left hook and then the uppercut from there. It's very nice. I think he caught PJ Brown or TJ Brown with that shot in his UFC fight, because I think that's where I got it from. But yeah, it's a really nice combination, left hook, uppercut. I taped this fight about a month ago, so yeah, bit fuzzy on it, but pretty sure that's where I got it from. But he will back up onto the fence, as we talked about before. He kind of does it to himself, walks onto the fence, and then he's pretty much just looking to land a big right hand once he's put on the fence. He'll just start swinging pretty much with that left hook uppercut combo, but he starts swinging combinations. His chin's a little bit in the air, but yeah, he puts himself in that situation. But he's like, yeah, a cage panther or a corner tiger or whatever you want to call it. Once he does get put on the fence, he will just start lashing out. Also, when his opponent's too aggressive when they're closing the distance, he has a nice check left hook. Very nice, very, very tight. It's a very good punch he's got. Also, he will square his stance on the fence, like when he's circling away from the fence, which is dangerous to do against a guy who's going to look to probably wrestle here, like Jared Gordon. He's probably going to look for that double leg on the fence, so it's just a little bit dangerous there. For Jared Gordon, he looks for left, right hooks in the pocket, looks to make it a little bit scrappy. He can leave his chin open in the pocket, and we have seen his chin isn't the greatest. But yeah, so in the grappling here, So yeah, Jared Gordon, I'm expecting to come in with a grappling heavy game plan. Probably a few of his favourite takedowns, the blast double underneath the right overhand. Danny tends to throw a lot of his shit very tight, so I'm not sure if that overhand, well, that double leg is going to be on in this fight, but definitely the double against the fence will be on. So yeah, he can shoot for a double leg in the open without setting it up. Also, he'll kind of reach with his hands first before even moving his legs, which kind of, telegraphs your shot a little bit, but also leaves you open in knees and stuff like that. Pretty much, a lot of his takedowns are kind of opportunistic, in my opinion. He looks to capitalize on any slips or, trips or anything like that, and looks to get into top position. He's very, yeah. He looks to pretty much get in a scramble, doesn't matter how, and then look to get on top position from there. Once he's in top position, he'll probably just sit in half guard or full guard and then look to land some short ground and pound. He's not a guy who's going to Khabib you or anything. He's mostly just looking for ground and like short chopping shots just to keep the ref from standing the fight up, but also looking for control on the ground. So yeah, he often gets caught in guillotine traps as well by like kind of marginal Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu players. Practitioners, or whatever you want to call them. And a lot of his fights he gets caught by that guillotine. And it was probably going to be a matter of time before Charles caught him in that fight if he didn't knock him out first. But yeah, just he leaves his neck way too far open when he's shooting for takedowns. And for Danny, on the other hand, his grappling, I haven't seen too much because there's not much tape on it. But apparently he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I haven't noticed it in his fights. Like, none of them have really got to the ground where he's been able to utilize his Jiu-Jitsu. But mostly he's just looking to keep it on the feet. Mostly his anti-wrestling. Looks to get those double underhooks and then shuck his opponent off and then, get back to what he was doing on the feet. When he is on top position, he can, kind of post his hands on the mat. And he can do it below his opponent's shoulders or elbows, and then that kind of is pretty easy to isolate if you're just asking for it to be isolated and an arm bar to be set up. But yeah, I don't expect he would want to be in top position in this fight. I think he just wants to keep it on the feet. So how these guys win? For Danny Chavez, he's got very fast hands, good hand speed. He's got nice low leg kicks, comes in with good game plans. For Jared Gordon, he has good grappling cardio, decent top control. He can keep mediocre fighters on their back for a whole fight. But he wouldn't be able to hold anyone who has decent BJJ on their back, in my opinion. But it's good enough, serviceable for the type of opponents that he fights. How these guys lose, we'll start with Jared Gordon. We'll start with the chin. It's very fragile. One touch and it pretty much. Well, he could take shots, but a lot of shots put him out. I think he's been TKO'd or KO'd 4 times in his career. That's all of his losses. So it's obviously been a problem, and it's not going to get any better with age. So he also give his back when he's trying to get up from bottom or when he's trying to get out of the clinch. He'll give his back, so yeah, someone could wrap up the body lock there. How Danny loses, he keeps his hands low most of the time. That's it's pretty standard though with his type of style that he's trying to employ. He's trying to keep the hands low to try and bait you in, and then he's going to look for the counter shots. But yeah, it can get you in trouble, I guess. Also, the main problem is that he backs up in the straight line onto the fence, and it just kind of limits the amount of offense he can throw and also restricts yourself as a fighter. But he's just so focused on the counter that he'll always be stepping back, trying to land that perfect shot. So it's just, I don't know, something he needs to work on, I think. Just getting away from that fence. But yeah, I definitely think he has the speed advantage in this one. So path to victory for these two. For Danny Chavez, keep it on the feet pretty much. Get some good volume on your low leg kicks. Try and beat up that lead leg. Also test that chin when he's going to come rushing in. But yeah, mostly just keep it on the feet and just stick to your normal game plan. For Jared Gordon, try and get it onto the mat. Try and back him up to the fence with feints and jabs, and try and get him onto the fence, and then you can shoot your double leg and try and get a bit of top position from there. But you're going to need to set it up because he is very quick and he is very good at getting the underhook. So, just throw a straight right just beforehand, or maybe a left hook, right hook, just a combination to get him trading, because he'll be looking for the counters. And then once he's looking for the counters, you shoot under and go for that double on the fence. Alright, so how I see this fight going? Yeah, as I said before, I was seriously impressed with, Danny Chavez in his UFC debut. Even though it wasn't against the greatest, competition, it displayed his speed, his leg kicks, his fight IQ, his takedown defense, pretty much displayed his whole game, which is what I wanted to see. On the feet, I think Danny will be way too quick. I think when they exchange, Jared will definitely come off second best. And just when it's at distance, he's going to be kicking the hell out of Jared's legs. And I don't see Jared having too much success on the feet. On the mat, on the mat and in the clinch, it's a bit of an unknown because I don't have much tape on that aspect of Danny's game. But he does have a grappling background. Apparently, he's got Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's been in the game for quite a while. I'd imagine it's pretty decent, and his takedown defense did look pretty good in his first UFC fight. But yeah, we'll see if it holds up here, because I don't rate Jared Gordon's takedowns very highly. Sorry, I think they're pretty opportunistic, and he kind of capitalizes on trips and slips or catching a kick and stuff like that. I don't think they're too great or anything like that. So yeah, as you can probably tell, my prediction is Danny Chavez. I think he KOs Jared Gordon. But yeah, let's look at the betting lines. Alright, so Chavez, he's around $1.80 now. Yeah, that's how about I would line the fight. I'd probably line it a bit higher for Chavez, to be honest. I think anything over 180 is value on Danny Chavez. I got Chavez at an underdog. I'm surprised I got it, because I didn't actually know who he was when the lines came out, so I had to do some quick research on him. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the price I got him as a decent underdog, but still $1.80. I think that's an edge still, because yeah, I think he wins this fight around 65% of the time, in my opinion. Also, I'm waiting for the inside the distance lines to come out. I'm expecting it to be around $3 maybe, but if it's $4 for Chavez inside the distance, I might take a stab at it, because yeah, I think that's pretty good value. I think he finishes him over 25% of the time.